Why are we switching POV to Fang? Oh, we need a new song, because we're doing something a bit more meh. Casual? I think that was one I was thinking about. Yeah, we're pretending things are fine. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hello and welcome to the Historic Dynamo. Seat for one. The waitress's practiced plastic smile and chipper tone gave me a bleak flash of memory to a person who's also dead. Caused me a pang of nausea. Relax, she wasn't the beach princess. She was just one of the employees. I'm pretty sure I've seen it before. Actually, I'm meeting someone. Oh, of course! I was told you were coming. Please follow me. Anon shot me a sideways look. Oh, wait. Oh, that's Fang. Of course, if it's Fang's POV, then yes, Fang would have a stronger response to that. For Anon, I'd be a little like, come on, Anon, she's not that bad. But from Fang's perspective, you know. And shot me a sideways look packed with worry. I mean, it's a weird twist of conversation. I relied on Como to do anything to him, but I could see why the idea of being told he was coming would unnerve him. No doubt he was thinking he was entering a den of wolves or something dramatic. I mean, there's a lot of Italian people here today. That's just weird. Wasn't Mo was worried about, though, his mom. Even if he didn't make his point clearly, failed to convince her. No. He had a plan. It worked fine. It had to. I mean, everyone seems to think that my mom is nice, but, you know, she's just as bad as Ripley when it gets down to it. We moved towards the back of the restaurant, guided by the well-practiced routine of the waitress. It was weird being back here. I hadn't changed at all. It's been like a couple of months. The same tables, wooden lattices, warm, comfortable lighting. Pictures along the wall, Moon and friends. Happier times, long nights, when we'd come here as a family. And you know your brother's dead, right? I'm just killing the mood, man. Just killing the mood. I shook my head, trying to let my thoughts or mood spiral ahead of the big moment, opting instead to stare at the back of Anon's bowl head. Maybe Mom picked this place to help things be more comfortable. She definitely didn't pick it because she was worried about Anon. It wasn't dangerous at all. Maybe she just wanted someplace normal and comfortable for what was no doubt, at best, a awkward and pleasant conversation. In most places, it will be the same old, make it perfect for her. I guess that makes sense. Mom keeps attending church. Okay, we're gonna go through this because we're kind of delaying. I like how Fang gets infinite fucking thinking time. And there we are. And there we are. Okay, Anon gets so dead. There she is, Samantha. And oh man, wait, is this the one with the picture? Oh, this is the one with the picture. Oh shit. I think about that image because it's like, she's like, what the hell, man? There's a ghost? That can't be good. Ghosts are bad. So they're often depicted, at least. Happy times to your family. Oh, that's cool. She looks raw. And I mumbled. It wasn't wrong. First one was her hair. She had cut it roughly right at the base of the neck. Wasn't a bad look for a stark change. Why did she do that? She always had longer hair. Yeah, it's very long. I mean, you know, like, you know your mom for so many years, and suddenly she, like, does something to her hair. You're like, what the hell, Mom? When did this happen? I move out of the house for 20 years, and I come back, and this is what you greet me with? A different haircut? And you didn't even notice I have new shoes. You're having a chopped short. It's almost like her kids died. And that might be a shock to the system. Fraser cut herself just to... Yeah. You look tired, exhausted. Not as bad as Anon. Notice her wings, what was left of them. Spotty. Plenty of feathers missing. Likewise her elbows. Holy shit. Well, we know where you got it from now, Fang. Jesus. Oh, it's disrepair due to overbreeding. Yeah, nervous tics. Probably not what you're doing with the plucking, but, you know, still enough to make it bad. Greetings, Anon. Hello, Mrs. Aaron. Thank you for meeting me. My mom's quick smile melted away almost immediately. Also, shouldn't you be more descriptive about your mom? I've known this woman for forever. Anon slipped past the waitress and took a seat in the booth. Opposite of Mom, coming inward enough to give me a spot to sit. The waitress quickly took Anon's drink preference and made herself scarce. Wasn't hard to tell that she picked up on the mood. That this lunch date wasn't going to be a very fun one. As soon as she left, Mom leaned forward and moved slightly when drooping. Like she'd been trying to put on airs for the third party. I took my seat at the edge of the booth Anon had provided me and shrugged off his backpack, which held a Hail Mary pass inside. To give us that awkward Anon soda. Oh no! Mo was gonna take the orders. I reach over, applied some forced tap, and I was like, "Oh yeah, how are you been, Mrs. Aaron?" Yes, trying to ignite the momentum of the meeting. About as well as can be expected, I'm afraid. I'm sure I look ghastly. Anon opened his mouth to comment, but promptly snapped it shut. Jesus, I will strangle you with whatever strength I have if you say something nasty about my mom. Man, if I was a ghost and I couldn't do anything about anything, I'd be pretty pissed too. Wasn't anything but politely lie about the obvious, and that was a waste of time. We all knew it. I just felt worse. Hey, kid. Anon suddenly said, upright, ramrod stiff, and even I jumped in my chair a little. Mom glanced up, and me and Anon's head were spun to find Mo approaching. He looked better than the rest of us, but his normal, cheerful, toothy smile was gone. I'm sorry about being here. Oh, no. Hey, relax, kid. Sam's the one inviting you. Said you needed to talk, and my place is always open for that. You know, I'm like Switzerland. I don't like Switzerland, but it's like Switzerland, all neutral. And also, I can help you with any, tax evasion things you might want to be starting up. Happy to see you again. Anon swallowed hard, like he was giving a blowjob. It's really weird that I'm being this specific about it, but he seemed to relax a little bit. For my part, seeing Mo so low energy just caused my heart to hurt all over again. Anyways, I get you ordinary leisure to do it. No, I wouldn't want to. It's my treat, but Please. You look to Mom, and back to Mo before letting out a sigh and relenting. Shut up, Anon. You ordered a small meteor pizza. Mom made a plate of chicken parmesan. Again, the fact that some people are like, I can only eat meat really complicates how dining experiences work. Because, meat has different storage and preparation requirements compared to just leaves. All I'm saying is that a vegetarian restaurant has huge advantages. If only because that shit's cheap compared to meat most of the time. Alcamo nodded, linking for a brief moment, and departed for the kitchen. See, I told you it'd be fine. I tried to offer, but both Anon and I could feel the levity wasn't really landing. Mo wouldn't do anything. But seeing him so muted was worse than I thought, than if he was just openly upset. So you said there was something you wanted to talk about? Honestly, again, I don't know if I could have the nerves for this. This is such a hyper-specific situation. A few things first I want to say. I'm sorry. About what? For not doing more. I should have done more to help Fang. Only afterwards I realized how badly I messed everything up. I've been trying to figure out how to make things better, just doing whatever I can. Having a lot of weird realizations of late that I'm not going to go into right now, but I ended up finding my way to the church in Central Volcaldera. To the church we go? I saw a prayer card you left. Mom's head lowered slightly at the mention of it. And I felt, after... I needed to talk to you again. Or at least try. Be fine if... Well, I hoped you'd be willing to see me. I'm somewhat surprised to hear it. Maybe it was some divine providence that brought us together, she said with a forced, almost tired smile on her face. Considering where this conversation's gonna go, I'm sorry to tell you, Mom, but it's about to get weird. This is such a great way to put this, because, divine providence does not involve someone showing up with your daughter's ghost. It's just such a... I just love it. Makes me slap my belly and laugh like I'm fucking... that Boss Nass from Star Wars. There was a pause between them once again before Anon continued to push forward. Unexplored territory. No one has ever had this conversation ever. Also, it's a bit weird, but I've been trying to get to photography lately. Oh? Mom, that's floating somewhere between uncertainty and genuine curiosity. Well, where else is it going? Yeah! And I continued pulling out the camera and placing it on the table. I hoped it worked like before. I stood up and walked to the side of the table, getting in the picture. If Anon could snap a picture of me, then hopefully would be enough. With any other bits we could come up with on the fly to give it... I don't think you should lie about this, man. First off, I feel like if you're gonna lie in this context, you're gonna hit a wall, right? You're gonna hit a really big wall. If Anon could snap a picture with me, hopefully be enough, okay? Come on, keep going. Gesture at him. I guess the last picture anyone had of everyone was a prom. I thought at the time it was an annoying amount of pictures. I've got to phrase didn't last. I thought that, maybe taking pictures of things is to remember isn't a bad idea. Anon, you're bombing this. Anon, you're gonna get a 5. Oh wow, that's actually cool news. Yeah, that's good enough. See, you know, this is what I mean with brevity is a solo route, right? So I'm writing a little response, and I'm like, I could write this out and make a big thing, or I could just be like, you know, that's good news. That's all they really need to hear. I know a lot of people associate lots of words with you mean it more, but I think to some extent, like, if you're gonna oversell it, you just sound a little weird. His pitch was honestly pretty damn weak. Goddamn, we should have prepared this. He told me he had an idea how to lead into suggesting taking a picture without it being awkward, but really? That was it? Why is he so dumb? Can I take your picture, Mrs. Aaron? He seemed to bristle against the request. Oh no, Anon, I don't think it'd be a good idea. Look terrible. Anon leaned forward slightly, placing his hands on his chest. Mrs. Aaron, please! I'm just so bad at this. Fang has been giving me non-stop shit about this. Yeah, that's because we should have discussed this, you fucking moron. You could have told me instead of being... God, we need to communicate, you asshole. That's how we got here. Because you don't communicate. Mom paused, the rings twitching behind her. I think Mom is like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill this man in 5 minutes. Because this is like the worst. If you insist... Oh god, at least she didn't say bless your heart, because then you know she'd pull out the Derringer on him. Oof. He nodded, shot me a quick glance as he picked the camera back up. I nodded and I'd like to point out, Anon said he wanted to talk, he showed up, and he just took a picture of her. This is the most fucked up conversation, no matter how you slice it. Even if he had small talk. Stood over next to Mom. She sat up slightly, and set into a posture properly as Anon aimed the camera at us. A quick flash from the camera and a mechanical whirring as the instant film spat out the front. Oh, it's an instant Polaroid. I haven't seen one of those in ages. Yeah, I was lucky to find it in an old... You know, I just kind of stumbled across it, totally didn't... I took so many pictures of Nasser and Lucy with them back when they were kids. It was easy to find the film back then. It didn't take long before the camera started taking over after that. Listen, I remember when my parents had to, like, go to a guy to get the film developed. Alright? I come from the dark ages, when the pictures you took time to become actual pictures. I mean, nobody owns a fucking printer nowadays, so who fucking cares, but you know what I mean. A small smile on her face. I'm pretty sure you showed me a few once, Anon said gently as he placed a little square on the side to let it develop. Oh, I believe so. I always keep a little flip book of my favorite picture in my purse. It's even more important now, because some memories I got, buddy. Anon, do you have the guts to show her the photo? Because I feel like you're... like, would Anon have regrets? I feel like we need Anon's POV. Like, maybe he has regrets about this. Maybe it's like, I can't show her this. This would destroy her. Like, it would give her a heart attack. I'd have a heart attack if my mom died. Would my mom be the best person to kill in this context? Let's just go with my mom. Alright, I don't know which parent I'd be most annoyed about or which family member I'd be the most upset about. Let's just go with my mom. You know, nice safe choice. It's not a contest. It's a really shitty contest. And my mom's dead, and I'm like, man, that sucks. I'm super sad. And someone walks up to me and like, oh, you're like the friend of my mom, right? And he's like, yeah. And he takes a picture, and my mom isn't. I'm like, that's a good parlor trick, buddy. I'm out. I'm out. Oh boy, it's not even been 2 months, my man. I'm out. Ugh. God. Silence fell back on the table as the kitchener swung open, catching all of our attentions. Rather than his usual boisterous announcement, he quietly hobbled his way over and laid the food in front of him before departing again. It would have been great if you had him see the picture and be like, what the fuck is that? What? When did you take this? They began to poke at their food, but it didn't seem like either of them were especially hungry. I don't think. It's ready, I whispered, as if there was even a chance the mom would be able to hear me. Glanced up, then looked at, and, yep. Hey, you said, yes? She asked, prodding a piece of chicken. Well, I think it came up pretty good. Jesus, I'd be so... Ooh, I'm so tense. Because, like, this can go nowhere good, right? Oh. Oh, this can go nowhere good. Oh, sweet Jesus. Ooh. No, this is too much. Where's the edge that I'm thinking of? No, this is good enough for now. He picked up the photo, dropping it briefly. Causing me to groan. Get that out of here. That's implied. Now's not the time to be a klutz. I feel like the groan is implicit to that statement. Like, don't do that. You're killing the momentum of this incredibly tight and tense scene. Write shorter letters. He swallowed again and extended his hand out to hand it to her. Oh, that's so bad. He extended it out, the picture. It works better and admits that. She stared at it for a moment, clearly not wanting to see a picture of herself, and huffed again and grabbed it. Flipping it around, I was able to see at the same time she did. With the distraction of food, given the film enough time to fully develop, and sure enough, there was Mom on the left side of the picture, seated in the booth to look as proper as a rough exterior allowed, and sitting next to her was the faded, blurred shape of another picture. Me. And it isn't bad, but... She began to lower it after a quick glance, but paused. She raised it back up to look at it again, and she slowly started to stiffen. I'm haunted! Shit! Anon, run! Takes holy water out of her purse. The power of Christ compels you! Her head snapped over her shoulder, looking directly at me, but her eyes clearly when focused, recognizing I was there, as expected. It's kind of fucked up that my mom, who put me in this world, doesn't get to see me. That's kind of weird. Instead, this fucker gets to. That's so weird, right? As her head whirled back to the photo there. What is this? What is this, Anon? Her voice took on an uncharacteristic sharpness. He leaned back slightly. That sounds casual. Sorry. Like, he leans back slightly. It sounds so like he's, like, casually leaning. At the unexpected intensity. His hand was outstretched towards him. Oh, her hand was outstretched towards him with the photo between the two of them. Face up for both to see. Looking at it, the quality was just about as good as her test run back at the apartment. Blurry, poorly defined, out of focus. There were any number of ways that described how my forum had resolved on film. Also, I feel like this, I don't know, it creates complications of the problem. Right? Oof. But it was undeniable. But what was undeniable was that there was a weird picture of what could only be described as me standing just to the right of Mom in the picture. She just watched Anon take it and let it develop in front of her. She just watched Anon take it develop in front of her. Oh god, what a weird way to phrase that. If she was going to assume it was some kind of trick, then she also had to assume that Anon had a damn bright future. That's a good way to... Like, I'm being very sassy and, like, jokey that isn't appropriate. But I also feel like, you know, that's a great way to break up the tension a little bit. Fang? Here we go. What? Mom began to further inquire, facial wash between something between confusion and discomfort. Before she could get any further, I knelt down next to her, pausing only for a heartbeat, and reached out and placed a hand on her shoulder with intent to apply pressure. Her beak snapped closed instantly. Her normally slitted eyes opened full. Her golden iris is instantly flitting to us. Oh god! Ugh, slitted and flitted. Ugh. Oh, we got music recommendations, baby! That's as good as getting news about Knack 2. What do we got today in Ghosts and Suits? I like this guy made a fucking soundtrack for it. That's cute. Federico Ferranina. Fuck, that's actually really good. From the little snapshots we got, that's pretty damn good. Maybe we can pick a better song, actually. Like, I keep wanting to go to Light Bowl, but Light Bowl's a little too high energy for this, right? Actually, this is perfect. It's always weird seeing her eyes fully open, unless she was my own mom. It happens so rarely, it's always a sign of a big deal happening. Watching her eyes flitter back and forth, looking for the source of the contact, staring directly through me, her pupils narrowing to slits as her brain failed to parse what's happening. It was a big deal for sure. Listen, if she's religious, this is like Jesus Christ showed up and just gave her a high five. You need time, man. Also, she probably doesn't even believe in ghosts, so it's like even worse. You know, you didn't warm her up to this, Anna. You just dropped the ghost on her cold turkey. Like, Jesus. I squeezed harder, feeling my fingers start to sink through her. Hopefully it was enough to convince her that it wasn't some easily explainable bullshit like air conditioner blowing on her arm or something. Her rings began to twitch and flap behind her as her eyes shifted back to Anon. Anon, what was that? Yeah, that was Fang! Surprise! I mean, I feel like you can make an argument like, Anon, why were you being so sneaky about it? Like, the lies are kind of mean if you think about it in hindsight. Like, I get it, you were coating the medicine in sugar to make me swallow it, but you could have just fucking told me there was medicine, man. Without looking away from Anon, her other hand came up. Even as it shook, it reached across and cupped my hand. I could feel resistance being applied as if her hand was sank. Even as her hand sank to my own. It wasn't much, but it was clear enough. Oh my god, your mom has Jesus powers. Hell yeah, baby! Mom's hand squeezed. It was hard to believe it was even possible, but her eyes grew even wider. Lucy? I squeezed a little harder. My snout began to quiver. She realized what was going. Hey, Mom. Good to see. I like how I don't like Anon's smarmy smirk. I feel like if you just went faceless, right? If you just get rid of that, it looks way better. Because then it's like a husk of a man is sitting here trying his best. This is a little much. Also, can I just say that the way the shading works out, it really feels like you just traced the 3D model. I'm not saying this as a derogatory, but I've seen 3D models where like they do shading like this around the fingers, and it just makes me think of that. I know she couldn't hear me, but it's clear the intent came through. She began to suck in heavy breaths of air. She tried to stay in control. I watched her eyes fill with tears. She slumped forward, sputtering and quietly sobbing. This is not a healthy thing, man. You can't just drop this on someone. I'm sorry, Mom. This plan is kind of hot dog shit for your emotional state. I kept my hand in place, even though I sure was out of energy. It wasn't whatever I could feel anymore. I just needed to keep contact. I didn't want to let her go. Anon looked away as Mom fought bitterly not to collapse into a mess in public. For several minutes, she squeaked and sputtered in between breaths, her small form shivering throughout. It stabbed at my heart like nothing else I'd seen before. This is what my mom had been reduced to. Fuck. I'm so sorry, Mom. With time, she finally began to regain control. Her breathing grew less heavy, and eventually she sat back up and let out a sigh, using a napkin to wipe her eyes and clear away the tears. You should ask a security question. Like, can you ask Fang about what happened that day? And Fang should give you an answer of, like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And the answer is that's correct. Because if Anon was a con man, he'd make something up like he's fucking ChatGPT. That's the trick. I'm so sorry, Mom. Yeah, you made it worse, by the way. Like, this plan is kind of mean. With time, she finally began to gain control. Okay. I'm sorry, Anon, that was... It's fine, Mrs. Aaron. So if I say the past couple of weeks have been a hell of a time for everyone. So that's really... Yeah! I don't... How? I walked over as Anon leaned forward in a seat and went over the details with Mom. Taking my spot next to him. He laid out things since I reappeared, the day of the funeral, everything, Rosa, Stella, Reed, and the trip. And so you had the idea to talk to me. Mom concluded, recalling his prior mention of the card. Well, to be Fang, your daughter pushed for it. I see. Is that bad? No, it's just, Sonic. Whew. Oh god, we're getting into the heavy stuff. Hold up. We need to... Mom let out a shaking sigh, leaning forward against the table as her head met her hands. It's unexpected. The day after prom, Fang came home and, well, Ripley, he had words. That's a fucking understatement. He was livid. I had the audacity to go to my boyfriend's place to crash for the night after I had the single worst evening of my life. He was probably worried I was busy fucking Anon to give him some surprise early grandkids or some fucking bullshit rather than just having my boyfriend just... The irony is you did fuck him later, so I don't know what to tell you, Fang. He was right. Which is the sexy irony, you know? The high heels irony of the situation. Which I don't know if that's a good thing to do in a story like this to justify, but you know what I mean. I sucked in a sharp inhale to clamp down against a bubbling anger that started to grow in my chest. And I looked at me, but I waved it off. My asshole of a dad apparently called all night and texted 100 times to try to get Nasser to contact us both. No doubt Nasser tried to help, but as usual, and told Dad how prom had gone. Like every fucking time he tried to help me, he just... Fang? It's fine. Bad memories. Anon? Yeah, Fang's fine. Just listen, I don't like this game of telephone, Mom. Please take it easy on me, okay? Yes, I'm not positive. I've never seen Ripley yell so much as before. Oh, I'm not positive I'd ever seen Ripley yell so much before. I understand he was worried about her, but Anon, Fang, he didn't know what to do. He knew exactly what to do when he started fucking screaming at me! I snapped, raising my hand and sneering at Mom. Anon flinched. God fucking damn it. Before I could apologize, Anon relayed what I said and Mom wilted a little. I feel like you're not quite there yet. You need to let her warm up to the idea like a good con man, Anon. You're rushing it. You're a bad magician. Magic is charisma, and Working the crowd, and you've worked nothing. God. I love how Anon's the worst person for the job. Fang, dear. She paused, her eyes shifting back to Anon and to the table. She blinked long before shaking her head, shifting her attention back to where I was before at her side. Fang to indicate. I was not sitting in the booth next to him. It was hard to tell. Mom was having trouble keeping up, but she was trying. I feel like your mom's too old for these kind of shenanigans. I'm just saying the cloak of invisibility is a bit much for her. I felt in my chest. I felt a pang of bitterness. Using my new name, putting real effort in working with me and Anon. Now that I was a ghost, even if it was clear that my head was still spinning, that her head was still spinning, trying to come with terms with all new reality. Mom cleared her throat, bringing my attention back to our conversation, and she leaned forward a little, eyes trying to train around where Anon's head I was, but regularly gravitating back to him. As she started to talk, your father was so worried about you. He didn't express it well, but when Nasser explained what happened at prom is supposed to be a special night. I still remember ours to this day. We were so excited to go with Anon and play your show, and the next thing we know, Nasser comes home and says how it ended. She nodded. We were so worried. We didn't know where you went, and your father was so worried you'd do something you'd regret. When he and your brother tried to get a hold of you and couldn't, we just got more worried. I wanted to bite back in any number of ways. I was my own person. How stupid they were for not respecting me. How insufferable they were for not being able to trust me. But like any flame that burns suddenly and intensely, the roiling hate the burning hate in me snuffed itself out. I couldn't bring myself to comment. Should have stepped in when you finally got home. I should have stepped in when you finally did get home. I'd hoped that you had just decided to enjoy the night with your boyfriend to try and end things on a high note. Not that your father would ever admit it, but we certainly capped off our own prom in that way. A frail, nostalgic smile appeared on her beak for a brief moment before melting away. But I just stood by and let him tackle the difficult topic, as usual. And knowing him, he probably yelled at Fang. He looked uncomfortable. Mom head drooped. Yes, Yes. It was the last straw. The last straw? Anon turned. Anon asked, turning his head to face me. Mom likewise perked up. Was that it? Was that the why? My shitheel of a father screaming at me after having that special night ruined by worthless bags of shit and scales called my schoolmates, abandoned by my supposed best friends, and having the bomb that was Naomi's manipulating only... Wait, hold up! I need the sentence to work well. Was that the why? My shitheel of a father screaming at me, having that special night ruined by worthless bags of shit and scales called my schoolmates, abandoned by my supposed best friends, and then having the bombshell that was Naomi's manipulating the only last bright spot in my life? Then having the bomb that was Naomi's manipulating the only... Like, I know what he's trying to say, but it's... That, and the only other place I could retreat to and maybe be supported was treated like a fucking person. Instead, turned into one more screaming match with Dad because I didn't answer every pick and call. No, that didn't feel right. Dad was an ass. He's been that way ever since I could remember. He's been that as long as I could remember, ever since I came out as non-binary and started the band, but he'd always been an ass before that. But he'd always been an ass with that. This is weird. I got the impression your dad just sucked to begin with. There was always a level of suck. It just got worse at that point. That feels more sensible than he became an ass over that. I don't know, I just feel like if that was the problem, he would mellow out over time. Acting like it was some fat-ass straw breaking the camel's back being the ultimate reason I did everything that followed. Didn't feel right in my head to say. It was absolutely a fucker. And it was the thing that made me decide to go through with it, but... I slumped back into the booth and let out a sigh, head tilting back to look at the ceiling. Mom and Anna were saying stuff. I wasn't paying attention to them. No. My home being a place that I got to get screamed at again wasn't the why. Listen, I think that if you don't have a safe space to be at that point, that fucks you up. Like, I don't know what to tell you, Fang. You're kind of pretending it's not what it is. It was just the final push I needed to put a plan that already created my end of motion. It was... an excuse, maybe. Fang! I felt Anna touch my arm, jolting me from my thoughts. What? Are you okay? You're crying. And your tears are chilling my soda. It's really cool, but, like, it's cold enough. No, but it's not important. Are you sure? Communication's kind of the reason this shit keeps happening. Yeah, just trying to think, sorry. He returned the gesture and gave a summary to Mom, and bit for bit the silence settled over the table. Mo had come to check in on us, giving a few more words to Anna and Mom before taking the plates and leaving us alone. Did he not notice the fucking picture? You've not put away. I don't even know where that picture is, but it'd just be funny if he's like, what the fuck is this about? You guys are having a fun time, huh? Did not expect this is how our meeting would go, Mom said, breaking the silence with a soft chuckle and a tired smile. It's going better than I expected, honestly. I figured I'd fuck this up somehow and miss the chance to convince you about Fang. So things are pretty fucking good, I think. Fang's really back? Yeah, doesn't seem like they're going anywhere either. I wanted to comment, but held my tongue. We didn't know that. My accessories were disappearing implied that wasn't true, but this was about talking to Mom, reconnecting with her, and seeing where things would go next. We didn't need to add uncertainty to the pile of shit we just heaped on her all at once. I feel like you need to find a better way to talk to people before you start having this fucking conversation, Fang. Having Anon be a game of telephone is like the worst solution to this. It's not great. And I waited for it to continue, but I leaned forward. Is Nasser also... She asked, her voice scarcely above a whisper. Did you ask ChatGPT to write this? I fucking hate that line. I hate that line. It comes up in AI generated a lot. And I hate it. It's always above, right? I'd anticipated the question. We both did. It was inevitable that when it was revealed, she wanted to know if the other one was also dead. The one that didn't deserve it. And yet, the question felt like a slap across the face because it didn't have a good answer. I clenched my eyes shut tightly and rubbed my arm. Please don't say anything stupid, Anon. Not as far as we know. I've only ever seen or heard Fang. No one else. I see. Then he must have already moved on, Mom said. More as an exhale than a statement. She looked pained, but also somehow relieved. Well, I mean, that's 50-50 on your kids, I guess. This is good news, right? You'll see him in heaven, I hope. Maybe he's fighting demons in hell. That'd be fucking sick. Guess the possibility of your son being trapped in some weird purgatory is less pleasant than the possibility of seeing him again. If I existed as some kind of soul spirit thing, if nothing else, it was a pretty decent shot that there was some kind of beyond he went to. I mean, no, this doesn't say anything about that. You can still just evaporate into nothingness and cease to be entirely. Like, I know that's weird for people to understand, but no longer existing forever is what happened before. Like, I remember what happened before I showed up, and it's just, I try to load memory, and there's just a black void, right? It's like, I can sort of conceptual, like, the best way I can explain what my memories were like before I could even form memories is nothing. Just a buttfuck load of nothing. There is just this complete nothingness, and then at some point I started making memories, right? Like there was an eternity of nothing, and yet it was not even a second long, right? Like you show up at the doctor's office and you have to wait, and before you sit down you're already called, is the best way to describe the feeling of eternity before then, as far as I can conceptualize it. It's probably nothing. Doctors will tell you that doesn't make any fucking sense. But on the other hand, you are a baby for a while, so there is a space within which you try to form memories, but nothing happens. I don't know what to say, man. Guess they did for something. Jobs I got to report. Okay. Hopefully he was doing alright there. I mean, I imagine that he's doing stupid shit with Naomi up there. They're probably yelling at each other. Need to work on their communication skills. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure he would forgive Naomi very quickly, because he's not interested in having that conversation. He's waiting for you, if anything. You're the one who's gonna break up the heaven party, buddy. Mom planted her face in her hands, elbows on the table, took a shake. Mom, that's poor manners. We thought about it, you know. We thought about it, you know. Something about the tone of her voice immediately made my feathers bristle. You thought about... what? About doing the old burial rites. Oh my god, we don't need a fucking witch to show up. In reflex, I sucked in air through my teeth for me to... What? Mom, no! And I jumped in his sheet at my sudden outburst. I had snapped into the tools to try to get control of himself. The flipping the fuck out wasn't helping. Idiot, she still had her wings. It was alright. What? What? I exhaled and let myself slump down, apologizing to Anon. If he did a reaction to my outburst, I didn't see it. Instead, he turned his attention back to Mom. Wait. What's that? Mom sat back upright and brought her wing down in front of her to show it to Anon. Outstretched like that, it was easier to see how unkempt it was. Obvious bald spots where feathers had been removed when they didn't need to be. The telltale signs of over-aggressive preening. What's a subtle word about them? In ancient times, the loss of a child for Teros was... it needed to be remembered. She began to explain, clearly trying to avoid the issue of it all. I was trying to find a way to phrase it gently. I heard from some culture study shit from a long time ago and did a bit of research on it for the band stuff. I know the basics. What was brutal and hardcore for me, then I turned my stomach at the thought of my mom doing it. Well, you know, your mom's not like that. Remembered how physically, permanently, with one's feathers and blood. Aw, shit. Anon sat up a little straighter at the tone of her voice shifting. While I could, while I had trouble continuing to look at her, she stared straight. She stared out at the wing in front of her, running fingers through the feathers before grabbing a fistful of them. Before even either of us thought she was just going to tear them out, she just let out a soft huff and released them. When we lost our ability to fly, our wings became more symbolic parts of us. Culturally significant rather than physically. The wings were for displaying, courting, recovering, and protecting our children from the danger of the world. Have you ever seen Fang preen herself? Yeah, it was really kind of weird. The mother would strip her wings bare, clean. So you look like a fucking chicken? I mean, wings without feathers look really dumb. Like, you'd be surprised how little meat's on those things. Far worse than anything you've seen when Fang did it. The feathers would be fashioned into a wreath to lay with the child during the burial. The father would cut leather from his wings. Oh, we're doing that thing. Okay, we're doing the thing where it's like feathers are ladies and leather is men. I don't know if I like that. It's a weird bit of dimorphism to have, but on the other hand, I do think it's kind of neat. I can't argue. Like, on one hand, I'm like, eh. On the other hand, I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, that's neat. I just think it's neat. Do we know any other female tarots? Hmm. And it will be used as a burial shroud. One final act of giving them protection. The protection the wings were supposed to provide. I feel the shaking of my... I can feel my hand shaking just at the thought of it. What the Jesus, that's fucked up! Anon muttered. Loud enough the mom deflated. Anon, without our children, we are nothing. Yeah, that's fucking fine to tell, but you got like a few decades ahead of you, my man. You could get new kids. Adopt a kid, you know? Gee, fuck. Holy hell. Like, what the fuck, man? Jesus. Hold on. Listen, I was okay with the ghost. I need to stand the fuck up. I need to walk. But back if I... damn, man. What the fuck is that all about? Jesus Christ. To lose a child is the most grievous failure. Wait. Tarots are a passionate sort. No less so in the old days. To lose a child is the most grievous failure a parent can endure. And affair of that magnitude demanded remembrance. Demanded to be shown to all, mourning without end. I mean, losing your kids sucks. You're not supposed to die before them. But that, different times, different ideas. It's rarely done by anyone anymore, but... I mean, to be fair, losing your kids before, you know, that in general is a little less common. Nowadays, infant mortality ain't as high anymore, buddy. But we lost both of our children. Our pride and joy. We had nothing left. We had nothing... Just... like nothing mattered anymore. So, we talked about it before the funeral. I brought the idea up with Ripley and discussed it, but in the end we decided against it. The idea of what our two children would think. I mean, you got a wink for each. Mom's voice caught in her throat as she failed to continue to explain. As she failed to explain, you mean. Not that she needed to say any more. I stood up from her booth, and to my surprise, Anon shuffled his way out from it behind me. He both closed a short gap to Mom. As she fought against succumbing to the tears, he placed a hand over hers, which she grabbed onto. Jesus, what a hand! My hand found her shoulder. I couldn't tell if she could feel it, but I wanted to imagine she could, for whatever relief it could provide. I don't think this helps. Like I said, man, this is a lot to drop on someone all at once, and you ain't fucking warming her up for it. She did not do the foreplay needed for this to work. And I know I just used the term foreplay with a mom in a very inappropriate context, but fuck it, man. Damn. You know, when I mean, is this as good as Punch Drunk Gator, which had a fantastic funeral scene, which legitimately felt like a guy was falling apart at the seams and was woefully out of place because, again, D does not actually give that much of a shit about Yadakan. Like, great scene, horribly misplaced. I don't know if this is any better, but it's also not a funeral. This is after the fact, but whatever, man. Whatever issues I have with my parents, and that was a hell of a long list to be sure. Oh, that's my phone telling me I need to go to bed. And now it's done. I thought I turned it off, but I was stupid. The idea of mom and dad going through that over me, because of what I've done, beyond revolting. Thoughts shouldn't have ever entered their mind. We sat there for a long moment. Why don't you just call it a good while? As mom's body was racked with quiet sobs, her form hunched forward, both hands around Anon's own as if it were a lifeline. Tears flowed down her beak and dripped onto the table. I like how Mo has nothing to add to this. That man is a fucking champ for just not intervening. What a hero. What a trooper. Probably didn't even refill the drinks out of courtesy. That's why you do that shit yourself and don't leave it to the staff. She finally had control over herself enough to speak again. She managed to croak out a simple sentence. It seemed selfish to go through with it. Anon. Yeah. Tell her thanks for not doing it. Tell her thank you, because holy shit, I don't. Like, God, I would have vomited if I saw her. Mrs. Aaron? She just continued to shudder while trying to get her breathing back under control. Samantha? Well, that got her attention. Thanks, Adam. Thank you for not doing it, you know. Her eyes opened wide, staring at Anon for a brief moment. What's with all these fucking moments, man? Before a fresh wave of tears and sobs flowed over her. Still over average, but left over. I like how fucking casual you are. You're the corpse here, man. But this time, a bit of a small upturn in her mouth told me that she was smiling. That they made the right call in the end. As Anon pulled her into a hug and let her continue to quietly weep. I leaned over top of her. Yeah, you put the wings over them because that's the metaphor we just talked about. Listen, on one hand, mm, mm, so contrasted. So contrasted. So, I'm pulled left. I'm pulled left. I'm sorry, I'm pulled left. I'm pulled right. Mm. So Ripley. I don't think Ripley would feel. It's like Ripley has not been doing well, but you feel better hearing you're back. I don't know if Ripley is gonna be okay with the fact that your fucking spooky ghost shows up, man. This thing before us, that was Ripley Aaron? What the hell? His height made him notionally as intimidating as ever, especially with him staring down into the living room. Of course, the Ripley Aaron I remember was borderline shitting my pants over was suddenly taller than me, his crest excluded. But even beyond that, he was broader, had arms thicker than my legs, and sleeves rolled up to show, okay, gut, that acted only as a feint for how built of a guy was a massive mountain. Okay. That wasn't what was at the top of the stairs. Yeah, baby. We saw now was a husk. I couldn't believe it was him. Gone was the semi-professional suspenders and dress shirt attire swapped out for a basic black t-shirt and sweatpants. Man was working from home. Even then, I wasn't allowed to by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't hard to say he lost weight. Oh shit, he didn't eat. The massive arms, the powerful gut, all that wasted away. Fuck. My dad, right, has. Let's just say that some people in my family, including my father, have been through the wasting away from disease routine, and I can tell you that's fucking shock. Ouch. Oof. Like damn, my man. Ooh. We're going places, huh? Oh fuck, this chapter's good. Damn. Why is he here, Sam? I mean, I imagine that Ripley had to do a whole media storm and everything. Like, he looks just like a Holocaust survivor. You can't say that about your dad. What the hell? Oh, this is fucking great. Oh yeah, Anon. I like this. I like how Anon's like, hey, I saw him at the fucking funeral, man. You can't stand there pretending it's fine, Fang. Man, I love this. I love how Anon is standing up for Ripley. That's good stuff. I'm supposed to feel bad he's miserable because I do. Oh fuck. Who the fuck is telling him about the ghost? Shit, I just want to get to the part where he brings it up. How's your leg? Must heal real damn fast. One less kid we have to bury. Like I said, he's a cop, Anon. He just lost his own. I always like to imagine that either Spears or Ripley made a call to his parents, and in return they both should know. Spears because he has to call the parents because of the incident at school, and Ripley because of criminal investigations. I imagine, right, that both of them should know by the time Anon gets out of the hospital. But I don't know how that works. One less child we have to bury. So I want to get to the part where you bring up fucking Fang. The end goal was getting into the topic of Fang in a gentle way. We're like 2/3 into the chapter, and he hasn't brought it up yet. I love that. I love that it's like with Samantha, he had a plan, and now it's like, fuck, I have nothing. What did the junkie have to say? Oh my god, this chapter is great. To be fair, Ripley's got a personality that really spices up conversations because the man has opinions. Holy shit, this chapter, man. Hope my laundry's done. That laundry machine has a weird tendency to like take longer than I feel it should. That's what charitable take into actions. When Monday came around. Okay, and I was just explaining the situation. We're not gonna talk about her. Jesus Christ, I love it. This conversation's going places. We're going fucking places. Only to find the seat empty. Oh no, Fang vanished. I mean, to be honest, imagine being there and you can't do anything, and your dad's just the most miserable piece of shit ever. God, this is the worst. I'm looking forward. Again, I wish there was a nice breakup chapter, but if we're gonna do some high octane shit, at least ham it up. Give me the spice. Fang wants to stay. I prefer it if Fang made some boundaries and was like, I want to go. I I feel right, like the boundaries are kind of the point. Exerting your rights and stuff, whatever. I had a brief flash think the plane door was weird. So I guess because I guess they never get to talk to Ripley then. That seems to be the case. I can't confirm any of that, but I think that's neat because Ripley doesn't seem like the kind of person to talk about it anyway. Refreshing to see an E1 Ripley blaming more Reed and Trish than Anon for what happened. Those two have been in Fang's life for years. After all, Annie only been there for a few months. What a great way to put it. Icelandic boy is a good point. Can't tell if Sam really aims to tell Ripley that Fang is back of the sorts, or if it's hoping, expecting Anon will. Yeah, you probably maybe you should talk about this shit, man. I also don't think that Ripley really want to believe that, because again, Anon's not very good at this. 2 weeks after a garbage fire of a dinner. Hold up, what was this? This is Aaron changing behavior towards me and Fang, namely. She's calling me nearly every other day. Just checking in, see where we're up to. God damn, you have a mom now. Almost acting like her daughter's on vacation. Shit, you broke her brain. Holy shit. Oh my god, Jesus, this is so bad. So I guess we're not bringing up Ripley, which is fine. I think it's fine if we're not going bat 100. No, no, no. It's really you, Ripley. Yeah, but it's because Dad comes up. The hell? Oh god. Oh, I love. One thing I like is that the music cues make it easy to tell where shit's happening. That's one nice thing about it. Sam, what the hell is this? Oh my god. Booty short Michael just slacks. Goddamn. The dress shirt and vest were fine. They were fine. The booty shorts were just a pro. It just didn't work. It's like you tried to convince yourself more than anyone else. But what was Naomi thinking with that? Jesus! Shrink wrapped. Um. Sam, what the hell is this? Why are you photoshopping her dead daughter and everything? That's just dumb. Contacts. What was? Oh no! Oh, she just gives him a fucking slap. Just give him a good old rubbing. What else? Like all of what it says that I'm so goddamn disappointed. Oh, we're going places with this. Fuck yeah. But this is the end of the chapter. Ugh. Gross. We'll get there in like 2 chapters, I guess. And then we're already at chapter 9. Jesus. I gotta say, on one hand, this is slow, on the other hand, it's actually going places. I don't know how to put this. I think this is definitely in the upper echelon. I think our Arlock, if you are in any way worried about what's it called? If you are in any way whatsoever worried about your score, I assure you, you would have to fuck up spectacularly to get anything less than a 6 at this point. Like a 6 would require you to fuck up because this is good. It's long in the tooth, but I like the spicy drama. Problem is, I think it's really overdoing scenes though. It is really long in the tooth with wording, which admittedly is to be expected from fan fictions and stuff. But whatever, man. I'm digging this. I'm vibing, as the kids are saying. So next time, chapter 8. Yeah, we're over halfway through what's existent. How about we look at my history and see if there's anything else fun in here that's worth looking at? I'm not happy about Bad Apple because unfortunately Bad Apple can really only lose in this situation. I need to mark this for later before I forget. Nothing else matters. Last update was July. What the fuck? Oh yeah, that's still technically updated. Tory game. Ugh. I want to kiss that Snoot. Punch Drunk Gator has not updated. Ah, such a shame. Such a shame. Fallen Down was May. That's weird. Fallen Down. Did I? Fallen Down. I did. I feel like I did Fallen Down, right? Or did I just make the? No, no. I made the thumbnail for that, but I don't think we actually did an episode on that so far. Hmm. I read a little bit of that, and it's interesting. It introduces tertiary characters that are very good for keeping the drama up, which is always nice to see. You know, the willingness to throw something in there that adds a little spice. I wish I would finish this intermediate project where I'm like working on some chapters and ideas that I have and just get something out there. But it's just not happening, buddy. Noah Bodie. God, I hate that one. It's also like an entirely OC cast, which is kind of neat. Post ending 4 at that. I imagine there'll be a couple of characters, just for the sake of it. Man, I want to say Ghost in the Snoot is I don't know what to say about it. I don't know where I stand on things right now. I just don't know. Oh yeah, I was thinking of no something. It's not on my. That's on my to read list, right? That's got to be somewhere in this read later list. Oh, there's fucking Fall and Return, which is updated to chapter 19 in July. It's not in here. Hold up, I need to figure this out. None the something updated August. Yep, Lonely Time Recent, which is sad. I kind of want to get back to it, even though I fucking hate it. Honestly, actually giving it some. You know what? I think I'm gonna go, and I'll see you guys later when we continue this disaster. All I can say is that I don't know how to put this. I'm glad Ghost in the Snoot came wafting by my face. Nice little smell, flicking, tickling my nose. And all I can say is that I've had a good time, right? I'm glad that I get to have a good time. Do I think Bad Apple is bad per se? No, I just think that Bad Apple's underplaying its elements. It's not. The ghost stuff isn't really what I like. It's the fact that characters and their chemistry are just slamming into each other, right? Everything is just slamming into each other. It's a nonstop slam fest. Shut up and slam. And welcome to the jam. And that's all I want. I want there to be something spicy going on. Something new, something fresh, something sexy. So we're going to be at the 1/3 mark soon. Because 12 is quite a divisible number, funnily enough. Maybe it's a dream. Where will we be? Oh, I forgot. So Bad Apple for people. Oh, you probably aren't watching this, but Bad Apple is about we got Trish as an element. We got Mo as an element. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot more setup. I don't know if I care about it though. The chemistry's not as strong, but that's mostly because like the interactions are meh. It's not dealing with the limited cast as well as Ghost in the Snoot is, but admittedly, that's partially the thesis, the foundational concept. That's the problem. But I'll see you guys later. Thank you for coming. And if you're still here, you know, on one hand, YouTubers are supposed to say you're a real champ for sticking around this long. Personally, I'd say, man, if you got something out of it, how can I argue with any of that? I am not the decider of what things have value to you. As much as I can give advice and criticism, truth is, it's you who must decide the value of things around you. Man, that's kind of depressing in a way, huh?